Alright folks, welcome to the finale for Clockwork City. This is going to be ridiculously short. We're just going to cover this one part. I did kind of play ahead a little bit to make sure, and altered in a few different sentences. What is going to happen next is if you don't become friends with either Nikolai or Roz. It's kind of the middle path. So what's going to happen is we're going to play through it, and I will give the final tally as well as my review. So let's go ahead and do it. I guess we could spend some time later, maybe? The boy nodded his head, and with a polite farewell, he headed off. I turned to Roz and pouted. You know, you didn't have to do that to him. He deserved it. You'll learn soon enough, Dita. All boys are the same. Dre, human, they all want the same thing. Us, servicing them. Ain't gonna happen. Well, I still think I should get to know him a little. It might be good for me to learn about humans. At least that way I'd be better prepared if I made a bad one. You know what I meant. You raise a pretty fair point there. I'm still not too keen on the idea, but it's for a good purpose. Okay, you have my blessing. Didn't know I needed it. Ross smiled and hugged me tightly, making me wince. My exploits had left me sore and desperately craving sleep. It was all I could do to keep up with her as she jogged along the rooftops again. So, since we never got around to it today, should we try and climb the tower tomorrow? Not a race, but working together. I'd love to see the view of the city with you. That sounds great. But before that, I really think we should get away from here. The authorities are starting to turn up, and I really need to not be here. We ran off quickly as the sound of bells alerted everyone to the presence of the firefighting teams and the investigators. Once we were far enough away, we halted. I'm so tired. I just want to collapse and sleep. You did well today, Dita. Really well. I'm seriously impressed. You remember the organization I said I worked for? The one that was a little bit secret? The, Dre Equalization Alliance or something, right? Didn't you say the work was too dangerous for me? Yeah, that's the one. I take that back. Seeing what you're capable of today has really made me think. You're amazing, you know that, right? You're amazing, you know that, right? I blushed brightly, fingers running through my ponytail even as she spoke. I giggled nervously, looking over to her. You think I might fit in there? Definitely. How about tomorrow, after we take the clock tower? I'll introduce you to some members. I nodded my head with a grin. Rod had told me about the organization, which fought for equal rights for Dre. And as we headed home, a tiny part of my mind was screaming at me for purposely choosing to ignore the small bottle of paraffin oil in her back pocket. With that, we parted ways, and as I slumped back down onto my bed, I pondered what an interesting first day it had been. I'd grabbed a blank disc from my nightstand and slipped it into a machine on my arm. Hello, Mother, Father. You won't believe the day I had. So the implication there is that Roz set the fire and that the Dre Equalization Alliance is as non-harmful sounding as it supposedly sounds, is actually somewhat of a terrorist group as well. So, not enough time to develop that plot point, and really it kind of undermines the whole the good Roz ending. It kind of undermines it because now her best friend is a terrorist. Or at least an arsonist, which I don't know if that's a step up. But anyway, it's an interesting little game. They really needed more time. Altogether, all three paths took me, what? We're not even 5 minutes in, so less than 40, less than 50 minutes, shall I say, altogether. Definitely less than an hour. You can knock it all out then. It has some strong points. The good Roz path was definitely the strongest path of the game. But, they just need some more time and make a full-length EVN. Full-length EVN, I'm talking anywhere between 5 and 7 hours. Even if they're going to go the short route, that's fine too. 2 or 3 hour EVN. Because I know I can hear Badriel and the others yelling at me. You don't know what it's like, JP. You can't write that long for the. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But if you're gonna do at least 2 or 3 hours, that'll help flesh out these kind of characterizations. So we actually have someone to root for and like. Because Dita barely carries the story by herself, and when you add in that third option, it really falls apart with her being more naive than anything. So, and with us not knowing much about Nikolai, although him being a thief, and us knowing that little bit of extra information and foreshadowing, or hinting rather, that Roz was the one who set the fire in that building. Yeah, it doesn't need to be that gray. Some games just don't. If you're gonna be this simple and this straightforward, you don't need to be that gray. Anyway, onto the card. So we got a setting not in Japan, anime style artwork. It has text. We do not have an all Japanese cast, but we do have fantasy and fantasy setting, just a fantasy setting. So without that cast square, we're not going to get that. We do have romantic themes, all the blushing and whatnot. And I know they said friends, but it had a romantic vibe to it. We got a female protagonist. We have. Come on. We had. It felt like more of a slice of life tale than anything, like I said before. And we have the gay option. So no bingo yet. Hopefully our fortunes will change in the near future, and we'll be here when it happens. In the meantime, just destroy that like button. Let me know that you're enjoying the playthroughs, and I will give you more. And yeah, that's it for Clockwork City. Support the creators. They're definitely giving their best shot with this, between this and Victoria and Olives. So let them know whether you like what they did or not, what they can do to improve, or if they need to improve at all in your eyes. It can all go a long way. And that's it for me for now. I'll see you very soon.